Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia. And if you're not new here, welcome back. So back in January, the start of January, I was scrolling through Instagram, which is something I rarely do these days because Meta sucks. Anyway, yeah, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a local gallery post a call out for submissions for an upcoming group show. So I was super excited. The title of the group show was Pink. So I have my pink Bikini Kill shirt on, my pink scrunchie. I've done sort of like a pinkish kind of makeup, as pink as I get on the makeup today for this video. It's more burgundy. And I haven't worn a lip gloss in forever. I was a makeup artist in the early 2000s and I was wearing gloss all the time. I remember when the Juicy Tubes launched and there was that Stila pen, that Stila clicky pen that had like this much lip gloss in it. It was like $45. What was that? If I remember, I'll put it here, but I wore those all the time as well. I loved a glossy lip in the early 2000s and I haven't worn them for ages. And I don't really have a lot of pink lipstick, so I thought, anyway, a little makeup tangent here. When I saw the post from Unassigned Gallery and the title of the group show being Pink, my mind started going and I was like, I want to create something new and apply to this group show and see if I get in. So I started recording the process right from the start, and that's what this video is. Not knowing at that stage if I would be accepted into the show. I did think though, regardless, there's some value in putting the video together anyway. There's lessons to be learned if you don't get accepted. And judging by the thumbnail, you will see that I did. So we're going to take you through the whole process from the beginning concepts to the sketching to the painting to the getting ready for opening night. So let's go. So the first thing I did when I decided I wanted to create a new painting to submit to this group show is I got out my sketchbook and I started doing some brainstorming. So I just wrote down the first words that came to my mind after I wrote down Unassigned Gallery group show Pink. And that was portrait, moon, skull, neon, clown, corpse paint, and then phone. These were just the first sort of things that came into my mind. And then I just did some thumbnails trying to develop those sort of ideas. Okay, this isn't many sketches at all, but I just sort of wrote down the first things that came into mind when I was thinking about making a piece for this show, and then just did a couple of little thumbnails. So the sort of like the corpse paint with the moon, I'm not sure about that. And then I just sort of thought like pink aesthetic, maybe like holding an old pink phone. And then I thought maybe it could be like in clown makeup. And then this was the third one I did. And I actually think I'm going to develop this kind of idea more because I think this like more simplified portrait, but all in shades of pink, will probably look a bit more striking. And I can see if I can capture all that emotion in the face like I like to try and do. And yeah, so I think I'm going to develop this, do some more sketching, and then start painting my pink painting. Now, the submissions didn't need to be entirely pink, but I wanted to challenge myself to do a painting that was almost entirely pink. So these are the colors that I decided to use. I've got the Amsterdam acrylic in quinacridone rose light. I've got the Liquitex Basics Acrylic in Fluorescent Pink. And you know how much I love a neon shade if you've been here for a while. I've also got the Liquitex Heavy Body Acrylic in Medium Magenta. And then I also have this little tube from an art subscription box. It's the Liquitex Basics in Light Pink. So I've got these 4 pinks here, and I just thought I'd do some swatching in my sketchbook just to get an idea about how the colors mix together, how they work together. I kind of wanted to use pink from the tube rather than mixing my own pink. I wanted this to be like pink. And yeah, so when I do my swatching, that's usually when I start getting ideas. So for my underpainting, I decided to use my beloved Payne's Grey. I'd recently done a painting using Payne's Grey as the underpainting and then sketched with white pencil on top and painted over that. And I really loved the way that turned out. And I did make a video on that painting, so I'll link that up above for you so you can go watch that. But that was the sort of where I wanted to start with this. I wanted to start with that beautiful, deep, rich underpainting, sketch on top, and then paint with the pink on top, because I found when I did that previous painting, when I painted with the light shades on top and the vibrant colors, they really popped, they really stood out. Something about the contrast, having that intense contrast immediately when you in sort of not having to paint in the contrast, if that makes sense. I really wanted to use that technique to do this painting as well. This painting didn't start with like a clear idea or meaning. It started with me writing down the elements that I wanted to include and then trying to piece all of those together into one painting. So 2 of the things, or 3 of the things I'd written down were portrait, neon, and phone. So I have all of those elements in this painting. And I've spoken before about how I don't like to attach too much meaning or interpretation into my painting, because I really feel like that's for the viewer to decide. I feel like we all bring our personal experiences and thoughts to artwork, and that's what makes art so incredibly special, because you can have 5 different people looking at the same painting and everyone will get a different feeling from it or a different interpretation of it, depending on what your personal thoughts are. And I find that if things are too explained as to what they mean by the artist, then you might feel like your interpretation isn't correct. And I don't think that's a great way to approach art. Well, that's not how I like to approach it anyway. But with this one, it's interesting because I didn't sort of have this particularly strong meaning about it, but that came to me later on, and it's something that I did want to share. So when I was asked to submit, like, not only an image of the painting that I wanted to submit, but my artist bio and then a little bit about the piece, I'd made my mind up about this stage of painting where I was almost done with the portrait and the phone, that I wanted to add in not only gold leaf tears like I'd done on my previous paintings and I've been doing on some painting recently. I also wanted to add in some of the little candy heart elements that I've also been incorporating into my painting lately. And when I was thinking about the emotion of this painting and sort of what I felt like it captured for me, and then potentially what I could write in the little hearts, I decided to write, "I miss you," because this painting sort of felt to me like it was a painting about isolation and how being able to stay connected to people that you love via the phone is great, but sometimes hearing the voice of someone that you cannot touch is a specific type of bittersweet pain. So that's sort of what this painting ended up being about. And I chose to use an old phone handset to give the portrait a sense of being a past memory. So I guess this was maybe the only time that I'm going to tell you what a painting really means, but it could also have so many interpretations to it, of hearing some kind of news that you don't want to receive on the phone. Or you know, it's so broad, it's so open to interpretation. So I finished the painting and I submitted all the info. Ta-da! And I got accepted. So I was stoked. So then it was time to varnish, and then the painting needs to be ready to hang. So I decided to install some D-rings myself. Now I'm going to link some videos, some really useful videos down below of people who do in-depth tutorials about how to do D-rings and how to tie the wire, because they will explain it much better than I will. So yeah, I just added the D-rings on the back there so it could be hung up at the gallery. And then Echo came to supervise to make sure I was doing an adequate job. And I think I did. So this was quite a long process. I think I started sketching pretty soon after the Instagram post went up. So it was probably just over a month between when I started sketching and then opening night. So there was a submission deadline, and then after that there was particular dates to drop off the submissions to the gallery, and she's all ready to hang. And then opening night. So on the back, I just wrote the title of the painting in pen, which is I Miss You, and I just signed my name. I do a little sort of logo in paint on the front of my paintings, but I sign my actual signature on the back, and then I just wrote January 2025. And then she was all ready to go. And here is opening night. I actually didn't make it down opening night, but my awesome friend B went down and took this video footage for me. So thank you so much, B. The exhibition looked incredible. There was over 90 artists involved. And as you can see, everyone's gorgeous pink paintings, pink artwork. There was so much diversity in the artwork mediums as well. Here is our little sad girl on the phone up in the corner there, looking forlornly into the distance, missing everybody. And there's all the info about the painting. Yeah, so she didn't sell, but that's okay. It's all an amazing learning experience, and I'm stoked I got to be part of the show. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and consider subscribing to the channel for more art stuff. If you've been thinking about wanting to apply to group shows, I hope this has inspired you to just go for it and give it a try. I feel like the benefits to applying outweigh anything as far as like not getting accepted or your piece not selling during the show. It's all a great learning experience, and it's all giving you more experience with contacting galleries, getting in touch with galleries. I would love to keep getting into group shows this year. I'm ultimately, a goal of mine, and I'm not sure if I'll get it done this year or not, is I want to have a solo show, and I am currently working on a body of work for that. But group shows are great because you only need to have like at minimum one piece. Yeah, group shows are a great way to get yourself into a gallery without having like an entire body of work ready for that. So highly encourage you, if you're an artist, to apply to your local group shows if you can, if there's any available. How I find them is Generally, galleries themselves will post all the information about upcoming call outs and artist submissions. So Google your local galleries, follow them on Instagram. Although Instagram sucks, I usually generally go to their websites because they'll have all the information there and all the requirements needed to submit. So good luck. I hope everybody gets into a gallery this year at some point. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.